Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I am an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Carter Walton may finally have a reason to feel hopeful again, especially if Daphne Rose Walton is ready to stop running and start talking things through. For a moment, it could seem like the storm surrounding their marriage is beginning to settle, but Carter may soon discover that his troubles are far from over. Daphne was an emotional wreck when she removed her wedding ring and walked away from the man she loves, and her heartbreaking decision left Carter shattered as well. Now, Carter finds himself drowning his pain in alcohol alongside Steffy Forrester Finnegan, who is facing a devastating marriage crisis of her own, with both of them vulnerable, hurt, and searching for some kind of escape from the pain surrounding their relationships. Their emotions could quickly cross a dangerous line. That emotional storm appears to culminate in Carter and Steffi sharing a hot encounter on August 17th, but what happens afterward may be even more explosive. While Carter is still struggling with the belief that his marriage could be over, Daphne may begin looking at everything differently after getting some rest and allowing her emotions to settle. She could wake up and realize that perhaps she was too hasty when she decided to leave Carter, especially because walking away does not erase the love she still has for him. Although Daphne talked about returning to Paris, she may ultimately decide that she is not ready to abandon their marriage and would rather stay in Los Angeles to figure things out. Her heart may still be broken over the way their plans for a baby were derailed, but she could begin to understand that the loss of that dream does not necessarily mean the end of their relationship. As Daphne processes everything that has happened, she may finally admit that Carter had been right and that she allowed her grief to overwhelm her in the worst possible moment. She could offer him a heartfelt apology for giving up on their marriage when emotions were running so high, then ask Carter to forgive her and help her find a way through the agony she has been carrying. Carter, despite everything he has endured, may be more than willing to stand beside Daphne and face the difficult road ahead as a team. His love for her could convince him that their marriage deserves another chance, even after the painful separation and all the uncertainty surrounding their future. For Carter, rebuilding what they had may feel like the second chance he desperately wanted, and Daphne's willingness to stay could bring a sense of relief after days of emotional devastation. Yet, beneath that hopeful reunion, Carter will be carrying a secret that could eventually threaten everything they are trying to repair. On August 20th, Daphne and Carter are expected to come to an agreement suggesting that they may make a mutual decision to repair their marriage and confront their challenges together. It could be a deeply emotional turning point, with both of them choosing to fight for their relationship instead of allowing heartbreak to destroy it. But there is one problem Carter will desperately want to keep buried. During that brief window when he believed his marriage was truly finished, he became involved in a heated and intimate moment with Steffi. Carter may convince himself that revealing what happened would only cause more pain, especially now that Daphne has returned with a willingness to rebuild their future. Rather than risk destroying their fragile reconciliation, he may decide to hide his encounter with Steffi and hope that the truth never reaches Daphne. For Carter, keeping silent may seem like the only way to protect the second chance he has just been given. Unfortunately, that kind of secrecy rarely survives for long in the world of the bold and the beautiful, And everything about this storyline suggests that Carter's secret night with Steffy is being positioned to explode at the worst possible moment. Carter may believe he can separate what happened with Steffy from the marriage he is now trying to save, but the truth has a way of finding its way into the light. If Daphne discovers that Carter was with Steffy while she was grieving, walking away, and believing their marriage was over, the emotional damage could be devastating. What began as a moment of vulnerability between two people suffering from their own marital disasters could suddenly become the betrayal that destroys Carter and Daphne's fragile reconciliation all over again. Daphne could feel as though she finally found the courage to return to Carter, only to discover that he crossed a line during the very moment she needed him most. And that is where this storyline could become truly explosive, because Carter may soon find himself trapped between the marriage he desperately wants to save and the secret he never expected to carry. Daphne's decision to stay, apologize, and work through their problems could give Carter hope that their love can survive. But Steffy's presence in this equation creates a dangerous shadow over that future. The more Carter tries to bury the truth, the greater the consequences could become when it finally surfaces, especially if someone else learns what happened before he has a chance to confess. What once looked like a painful separation that could be healed may instead turn into an even deeper betrayal, leaving Daphne questioning whether she can ever trust Carter again. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers suggest that Carter and Daphne's marriage could fall apart all over again once the truth about Steffy is exposed, setting the stage for another devastating emotional showdown. So even though Carter may believe he has been given a second chance, viewers should stay tuned, because the secret he is carrying could be the very thing that brings his marriage crashing down once again. But just when Carter may begin to believe that the worst is finally behind him, the situation could take another devastating turn. Daphne's decision to stay and fight for their marriage may give him the hope he has been desperately searching for, but that hope comes with an enormous price. She could be ready to forgive him, rebuild their relationship, and face the pain of their failed baby plans together, completely unaware that Carter has something dangerous hanging over his head. Every tender moment between them could now carry an uncomfortable sense of uncertainty, because Carter knows there is something Daphne does not know. He may tell himself that his night with Steffy happened only because he believed his marriage was over, but Daphne may not see it that way when the truth finally comes out. The more Carter tries to convince himself that silence is protecting Daphne, the more likely it becomes that his secret will eventually become impossible to hide. Meanwhile, Steffy may also be forced to deal with the emotional consequences of what happened between them. She was already struggling with a marriage disaster when she ended up drinking alongside Carter, and their shared vulnerability created an atmosphere neither of them may have expected. What began as two wounded people seeking comfort could become a memory that refuses to disappear, especially if their feelings become more complicated afterward. Steffy may have her own reasons for keeping quiet, but that does not mean she can simply erase the encounter from her mind. Carter may hope that both of them can move forward as though nothing happened, yet the emotional connection created during that heated moment could make secrecy much harder than he anticipates. If Steffy begins questioning what the encounter meant, Carter could suddenly find himself dealing with a second emotional crisis while trying to save his marriage to Daphne. For Daphne, the situation is even more heartbreaking because she may believe that returning to Carter means they are finally choosing each other again. She could open her heart, admit that leaving was a mistake and put her trust back into the man she loves, believing they can somehow survive the pain that has shaken their relationship. Carter may desperately want to give her that reassurance, even while knowing that he is withholding a truth that could completely change her decision. Their agreement on August 20th could therefore feel like a beautiful new beginning on the surface, while underneath it lies a secret capable of destroying everything. Carter might promise himself that he will never repeat his mistake and that what happened with Steffi will remain buried in the past. But in Port Charles, or rather in the unpredictable world of the bold and the beautiful, secrets rarely remain buried forever, especially when they involve two of the show's most emotionally complicated relationships. As Carter and Daphne attempt to rebuild their future, their marriage could become increasingly fragile beneath the appearance of reconciliation. The pain surrounding their baby plans has not magically disappeared, and both of them will still have to confront the grief, disappointment, and uncertainty that pushed them apart in the first place. Carter may believe that standing beside Daphne and supporting her through that pain will prove how deeply he loves her. But if she discovers what happened with Steffi, every one of those efforts could suddenly look different through her eyes. Daphne may wonder whether Carter truly remained committed to their marriage or whether he had already emotionally moved on when she walked away. The cruelest part could be that she was the one who initially removed her wedding ring and left, only to return and ask Carter to help save what they had together. If she later learns that he responded to that separation by becoming intimate with Steffi, the emotional betrayal could cut far deeper than Carter ever imagined. And then there is the question of how the truth might finally emerge. Carter may think he can control the situation simply by refusing to talk about it, but Steffi knows what happened, and the possibility of someone else discovering the secret will always remain. One unexpected conversation, one suspicious question, or one emotional confrontation could be enough to send everything spiraling out of control. Daphne could suddenly find herself facing a revelation she never expected, especially after believing that she and Carter had finally agreed to repair their marriage. The shock would not only be about the encounter itself, but about the fact that Carter chose to keep it from her while asking her to trust him again. That realization could transform Daphne's hope into anger, heartbreak, and perhaps an even deeper sense of betrayal than before. Carter, meanwhile, could be forced to confront the consequences of a decision he made during one of the darkest moments of his life. He may have believed that his marriage was finished when Daphne walked away, and that belief could become the excuse he uses to defend what happened with Steffi. But Daphne may not be willing to accept that explanation, particularly if she discovers the truth after making the difficult decision to return to him. Carter could find himself pleading for understanding while realizing that forgiveness is no longer something he can simply assume will come. His attempt to protect their marriage by hiding the truth could ultimately become the very thing that destroys it. And the heartbreaking irony is that Carter may have finally gotten the second chance he wanted, only to put that second chance in danger before Daphne even knew she had given it to him. As the pressure builds, Steffi and Carter's secret could become the ticking time bomb beneath their supposedly repaired relationships. Steffi has her own marriage problems to confront, while Carter is desperately trying to rebuild his life with Daphne, leaving both of them caught in a situation that could explode at any moment. The question may no longer be whether Carter can keep his secret hidden, but how much damage will be done when someone finally discovers it. Daphne could once again be standing in the middle of an emotional nightmare, forced to decide whether the love she still has for Carter is strong enough to survive another devastating blow. Carter may have wanted to protect the woman he loves, but his silence could prove that sometimes the truth hurts less than the betrayal of hiding it. And if the truth finally comes crashing into Daphne's world, the fragile peace created on August 20th could disappear almost instantly. The marriage that seemed ready for healing could once again be surrounded by anger, tears, mistrust, and painful questions about whether their relationship can truly survive. Carter may have thought that his brief encounter with Steffi was nothing more than a mistake born from heartbreak and alcohol, but Daphne could see it as proof that their marriage was more damaged than she realized. Steffi could also become deeply entangled in the fallout, particularly if her own emotions toward Carter make it impossible for her to simply walk away from what happened. What started as one reckless night between two broken people could therefore trigger consequences that reach far beyond that single evening. The Bold and the Beautiful is clearly setting the stage for Carter's secret to become much bigger than he ever intended, and the emotional fallout could be devastating for everyone involved. Daphne may return believing that love deserves another chance, while Carter quietly carries the knowledge that one terrible decision could take that chance away again. Steffi may also have to face what her encounter with Carter truly means for her own future, especially as the consequences begin closing in around her. The closer Carter gets to rebuilding his marriage, the more dangerous his secret becomes, because there will be even more at stake when the truth finally surfaces. For now, Carter may hold on to the hope that he can bury the past and move forward with Daphne, but viewers know that secrets in the world of the Bold and the Beautiful have a way of returning at the most devastating possible moment. And when Carter, Daphne, and Steffi are finally forced to face what happened, the emotional explosion could leave all three of them wondering whether any of their relationships can ever be the same again.